To be live. Yep. Live as we can be. You know. All right. Everything's good? You can hear?
Yeah.
You good on that mic?
Yes, sir.
All right, bet. Yo, Brandon, Osh, welcome to the podcast.
Yo.
Pleasure having you. Riz,
yes, sir.
Surprise guest. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
How you guys feeling today? Tell me a little bit more about where you guys are coming from, a commercial shoot?
Yeah, we was doing like, we was just posted up with my boy, like, City James and, like, Oz. And they were shooting, like, a Reebok, like, Pyre Moss.
Yeah, collab commercial.
Were you guys involved in that or no? Just chilling?
You just posted up.
Posted up?
Yeah.
Word. Yeah, man. Yo, this is funny because we've been I've talked about you 2 or 3 times on this podcast so far, and now we finally introduced you to the camera. We go back, man. It's been what? Since you said I met you when you were what, 18?
18.
Yo, refresh
2015.
Yeah, refresh my mind though, man. Like, where was it? Where was it that I know. We talked about this. It was at my homie Mark's shit, Top Shelf Premium, right?
Yeah.
What were you doing there that day?
I don't even remember, but like I used to post up there a lot.
Word?
Yeah.
I think he's got a new shop. You know Top Shelf?
I've been one time where I think Rad did the freestyle.
Yep. Okay.
It's like a little warehouse space or something like that.
That was the studio.
J-Hard shit.
Yeah, that was J-Hard's old studio over on like Decatur.
Yeah.
I think it was like deeper in Brooklyn. His original shop was in Lower East Side, and it was like posted up in the back of like a fancy boutique. You know what I mean? You like wouldn't even know it was there or whatever. And I met Brandon. I was there. I was doing some. I think it was his birthday. I was doing birthday shopping for Bishop Nehru when I was at Mass Appeal.
Facts.
And I guess he's like super into vintage like Tommy and all that stuff. So I was there probably for like a good 2 hours, like taking pictures, sending it back, to like people at the label, like trying to figure out which one it was.
Shit.
Yeah, basically on some like personal shopping shit, like on my bike or whatever. And I just met you there, man. And I don't even know how we started the conversation.
Yeah, I don't even remember at all. It's all blurry.
But you weren't even working with like Radimus and them back then, right?
Nah.
Like, what were you up to back then?
Shit, I was in college and interning with Statik, just being in clubs.
Ah, you did intern with Statik. Weren't you with what's that other label? Weren't you like doing some stuff with the
other
Sean
label?
P's label?
Oh no, I did some street team shit, but yeah, I didn't work for them.
What was
Damn,
that? What's that label? What's the name of that
Duck
label?
Down.
Duck Down Records.
Yeah.
Yep. I couldn't remember for a second. But yeah, no, it's been a minute,
Duck
man.
Down
And
James and
yep. Yeah. I think I don't know. I never met Statik there when anything Duck Down related. I think I met him at somewhere else, like Mass Appeal or some shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's been like a long time. And you got a lot of shit going on now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Explain to the people, like, you know, a little bit of like what you do, kind of like how you got to this point or whatever. And I got a bunch of questions we're gonna top back in, but I just want to give like everybody like a basic understanding of this guy right here. You know what I mean?
Big B.
Big B.
So like pretty much the fast forward story is like 2015, intern with Statik, get in touch with him through my boy Bedlam over at Show Off Marketing and that stuff. Started doing street team. Within a month, I just got cool with Statik because he was like, yo, you know all your shit. Like, you just know all the shit I grew up on, and, like, you just hit.
Yeah.
So he just had me around the studio, had me meet people. I think I already knew he had a show on Shade 45, but I didn't know it was a weekly thing or whatever.
Yeah, it was a Show Off radio, right?
Yeah. So then he started bringing me up, and it just became a thing where I became a phone screener and shit.
Okay.
And I would make sure guests come on time and all that.
So you're like managing talent and stuff like that, making sure everything runs smooth.
So I mean, like all these artists early, Logic, Earth Gang, like all these people, management, Boogie. I think Boogie was like the first artist like I'm meeting at Shade 45 and fast forward to Shady shit. But
yeah, now he's signed to Shady, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know, same shit with Griselda because the first time they ever pulled up to Shade 45, I was there too.
Word.
Yeah, so like I've known them, Benny, Westside, Conway, all those guys since then, but still full circle.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
like,
it's crazy too because I was just telling Riz when you were using the bathroom, I was like, oh, yo, I basically had like all of Mogul Club on this podcast so far. You know what I mean? And you know, you're like the completion of it now, being kind of like more on like the management side, even though you're not managing all of them as a whole, but like you're all affiliated. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I want to like touch base on like how that even came about, like because Radimus was the first episode. But I just want to know like how, because I don't really know if I know that story, like how things came to be of you even meeting Radimus and like the Mogul Club guys, and like ended up kind of working with them. You know what I mean?
So story twist. So like I met History first.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to Five Towns College with him.
Okay.
Like I was a freshman, he was a junior or like on his way out. But he was like one of the few people outside my class that showed love. And he was like the known producer and shit, but then like and rapper. And I remember he would just tell everybody about Radimus and just like Righteous and all that shit that they were promoting. So I was kind of familiar with the name, but like by the time random, but my boy Justin Clancy, I used to intern with at Show Off, like who's like a dope ass artist now, so I fuck with him. But like he invited me to this like team backpack event that they were doing like last minute with Token, Chris Rivers, like Loaf Music, all those people, and I pulled up last minute with them. And then like as I walked in, like History and Rap were on stage or something like that. I remember seeing Rap before.
Did History rap on that series, or was he just chilling?
Nah, I think he was just probably with Rad. You know, I don't remember if he even rapped with him, but I remember they were both there. And then they, you know, History just connected me right then and there.
Yeah.
And then like he was promoting Righteous, we stayed in touch, and then I don't know what it was, but I was just like, yo, Statik, like this Righteous project just came out. I think you would fuck with it. Just random email, and he's like, yo, you should bring him up tomorrow. I was just like, oh shit. All right. Like, all right. So, you know, I ended up bringing him up. And then from there, like, it just like became history. And we just stayed in touch. And then I wanted to be an A&R and just want to work on projects. And I figured out what I wanted to do in the industry. And just like months later, that's when I hit up like Rad, like, yo, what you on like today? Because I want to link with you.
Yeah.
I have this idea of me being your A&R. And he's like, all right. And then we just like kicked it at the hookah spot and told him my ideas. And, you know, I was like, yo, I got this producer budgie who I think you fuck with. That song ended up becoming Stage Right. Like,
okay.
You know, so it's just crazy. But that's how it came about. And then I saw like people were like talking to him about management or whatever. But then like none of it really fell through. And then like, I was just like, I'm going to be your manager.
Yeah.
And then that's basically just how it started.
Word. Were you like, how did the idea of like, what were you doing beforehand, you know, to get to the point of feeling like A&R and could be something that you were doing? I know you were saying you were with Statik and you were kind of like, you know, working with artists and stuff. And then you said you kind of just put the Righteous project in Statik's hands. You know what I mean? Yeah. Were you doing anything before that? Like, you know, as far as just like trying to send stuff out to people independently or?
I don't remember. I just knew I just wanted to find some like ground in the industry. Yeah. And I knew that A&R was my calling. I just didn't know how to start that because also too I was an intern with Statik and everybody knows me at Shade 45, but then I'm also like working and in college and I'm trying to get intern college credit and every label saying no regardless of like my relationships, which was crazy. So then like I ended up reaching out a bunch of times. I realized Shady had like an offer or whatever online, and I just like submit that over, and then I just got the call. Like, all right.
Word. Hell yeah. So that's a funny story. Every time I hear these stories, I think back when I was in college in Brooklyn College doing like the radio and stuff. That's like one thing that I like fucked up on, you know, when I was in college. It was like I was like, nah, I'm not interning nowhere, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I'm doing my radio show.
Got to get paid.
That's basically, I mean, you know, that's what it was, because I was like, because my first 2.5 years of college I was playing baseball. I thought that's what I was gonna be doing. You know what I mean? So like, when I decided to leave school in Jersey, I went to Brooklyn College. Brooklyn College was the first school I visited, and they had like crazy radio program. They had like 3 studios and like all this shit, and I was kind of like involved with that in high school. And so I like got there. I started my own radio show. Actually, I interned for a radio show before I could get my own, and it was crazy because this was like during the times where
this is when I had my own show too.
Yeah, it was tight, and it was crazy because like I started off like DJing. On the show, like I really wasn't on there. I forgot the name of the show that I was on. It was with 2 people, but like I started off as a DJ, and we used to have these the old like not the old turntables that you could insert CDs to. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? and like I was doing it or whatever, and it was, I don't know, like I like got to the point where I was like, all right, I was like spending so much time like using editing software to like, because I wanted to play songs that weren't played on the radio, you know what I mean? But you can't do that on like a college radio platform, you know what I mean? Because it's just the cursing and like blah, blah, you know, all that type of shit. Yeah. So I would spend hours and hours and hours like putting like 12, 15 track playlists together and like reversing the curse words, you know what I mean? And like cutting them out and like doing it just so I can play this stuff. And that's kind of like what started with the DJing thing. But when I got to my own show, I was just like, oh, like this is it. You know what I mean? Like this is just going to work out. You know what I mean? I'm going to do this. I do it for 2 years. And like, you know, we had like built up this following around like Brooklyn College. And then I would go back. I was like talking to somebody about this the other day. Like if you go on YouTube right now and look up Pro Era Brooklyn College Cypher, we used to have ciphers on campus, and we used to do them like every other Wednesday, like right outside of Whitehead Hall, which we had these like decks. So that's where we came up with the name Who's on Deck or whatever. And
what year was this?
This was, I graduated in 2013, so this was like 2012, 2011 ish.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And yo, if you look it up, man, it's crazy. I was just talking to somebody about this the other day, but if you look up Pro Era Brooklyn College Cypher, we got Joey, Capital, and CJ Fly like when they were in high school.
Wow.
Before like anybody knew who they were. And like these ciphers got so big that people from all over the city started coming to Brooklyn College campus just to rap for 2 hours. You know what I mean? Like, and I used to make the instrumentals on the CD. And it was crazy, man, because like 2 weeks later, the Survival Tactics video came out.
Oh, man.
And we were like, I was like, somebody sent me the video like, yo, you remember this kid? Like, da-da-da-da. I was like, yo, this is nuts. And then like maybe a couple months later is when the 1991 project dropped. And I was like, damn, dude, this is crazy.
That tape circulated.
But like shit like that had me thinking, I was just like, oh man, like I don't need to intern nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we got this shit. Like, I'm going to hop out of this and things are just going to happen, you know?
Once you get tapped in with the scene.
Yeah, because like.
To a certain degree.
Exactly,
like
yeah.
You could start seeing the future for yourself.
Yeah, and I was like DJing with IOD before I graduated a little bit and like all this shit.
Shout out IOD.
Yeah, shout out IOD. He will get him on here one day. But the funny thing is the only ever internship I applied for was for Sway in the Morning. And yo, I got interviewed. I was about to get the job or the internship basically, right? And I showed up. I was like mad late. I wasn't late, but like the trains were taking forever. Like I was like, it was like one of those super stressful days. You know what I mean? Like I show up and forgot my resume, bro.
Damn.
And who was the DJ for that show?
Wonder.
Yeah, DJ Wonder was there, and he was like, man.
Shout out DJ Wonder.
He was like, man, you forgot your resume. I'm like, I thought you guys had it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It was my first time ever like doing some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like not like a regular job. I was just like, I figured you got my resume. You saw what I, you know.
Exactly.
Like,
that's why you invited me.
That's why you invited me, right? Why do I need another copy of it? You know what I mean? Needless to say, that didn't work out, you know. But it just makes me go back to think about that shit. And that's like a smart, you know, you were smart about it when you were in college to try and focus on being, you know, getting in an internship somewhere at a young age, so where you can like build this rapport, you know.
And my shit was off the books, bro. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah,
some real '90s.
Like that's kind of what it was too. I was just like, yo, I don't even want to do figure out all this like paperwork I got to do with school and like get credits and like that. You know,
like Shady was the shit that was like on paper.
Yeah,
you know? Like yeah.
Word, that's crazy, man. And so you start doing that, and then you get tied in with Statik, and then you go to Team Backpack. Is Team Backpack still around? Because I know they were dope. They used to have a lot of crazy ciphers. You know what I mean?
Not too sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they did a festival like 2 years ago with Rad and like Dave East and like some other shit.
I think they're into like music marketing and promotion.
Okay.
And stuff more specifically than like the event type things they used to throw.
Yeah, because I used to see them on Facebook all the time.
Yeah.
I used to see all
World Underground or some shit now.
I remember that. Yeah, I think it is World Underground now. I remember when I dropped a video, like one of my first videos, and they had posted everybody else in Mogul Club, and I was like, yo, I gotta get on Team Backpack. And they posted me at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And I was like,
some kid just like behind you was like,
they was like, hey, check this out. I'm like,
They
had like 7 likes. I'm like, you know, this is what I asked for, so I'm gonna just be cool with it.
What's the new cipher thing I've been seeing? I didn't like watch it, but it's like with 30 Deep Grimy was on this new one. It's like this new it's kind of like a Team Backpack kind of vibe.
Grimy in a cipher?
Yeah, he was in a cipher, bro. I gotta pull. I'm gonna show you. I'll send it to you. I forgot the name of this brand though. They're kind of doing like same thing as far as like Team Backpack kind of was. And I was trying to think of the name of it. Maybe you would, if you would know.
Yeah, because the only shit I know that does like ciphers or freestyles is like off top still.
Yeah,
I don't think that's like 2015, 2017. That was like heavy because it was multiple different platforms and people doing it. Now it's just I feel like Marcus is doing it.
Yeah, nah, I'm gonna send it to you when I see it. But he actually like kind of did his thing on it. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really listen to him like that, but he's dope. He's cool. He's from St. Louis, right? Yeah. So okay, so you start working with Radimus. You ask him you reach out to him and be like, yo, I'm gonna be your manager. What's that conversation like?
Well, it naturally gravitated towards me being his A&R, and then like he got the payday deal like kind of like 2 months after.
Okay. Oh shit, it was that close together.
Yeah. Oh. And then like it was like the same week I got the internship at Shady. That's when I like talked to him.
Okay.
Yeah, might have been days before or after the Shady shit. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so we ended up working on stage fright and a couple of the tracks, and then like I say going into April of 2018 was when I started managing him, and then that's when I got the call that I was being hired at Def Jam.
Yeah. See, I thought in my head I had it as you were managing Radimus for like a year beforehand. Nah. So it all kind of happened like back to back. Yeah.
Yo, can I tell a story about when I met you at the Brass Track show?
Yeah, bro, we got all the time. Bro.
So, like, History is my like blood cousin. Mm-hmm. Like we're first cousins. Yeah. Our parents are siblings. So obviously I knew him my whole life, and I known Rad as long as History's known Rad or whatever. So this is like 2000. You're good. 18. Yeah, I'm good for now. Thank you. 2018, 19, 18?
Yeah, 18 for sure.
So we go to this Brass Track show. I'm unfamiliar with Brass Tracks too, like at the time. You feel me? Rad was just like, yo, come to the show, da-da-da-da, don't bring nobody else as VIP. Like, so I'm like, all right, cool, bet. So me, History, and Rad was there, and B, but I had never met B before, like prior. And like being a part of Mogul Club or just being with History and Rad, like, people tend to tag along a lot, like when they see us and like, oh well, I know these guys and I know they're on the inside, so let me stick around. So like once I linked with Rad and History because they was there before me, B was there, and like everywhere we would go, B was going too, but I didn't know who he was. Like I had no idea.
So you thought he was like one of those dudes?
Yeah, I was just like, yo, why does he keep following us, bro? But like Rad and History's not saying nothing, so I'm like, why is nobody putting me on game? Like, and like they treat him regular, like he's drinking with us, like he was regular, but I just didn't know who B was. And then I think I asked History like on the way home. I'm like, yo, like who was son? Like who's backstage with us and all? Like I'm just confused, bro. Like he's like, oh no, that's B. He went to Five Towns. That's Rad manager. I was like, oh, all right, now it makes sense. Like, and then like knowing B and his work ethic and like the time he put it into like what it is he does. I'm like, all right, so it makes sense why B was there, but I was just so confused.
Yeah, that's funny. Like that's really funny. It's funny.
He was making jokes and everything, like it was natural too.
Yeah, I'm just like, and he's like cracking up laughing, and I'm like, why?
But you were the only one out the loop. Like, did Mad Wiz know and shit?
Wiz wasn't there.
Or Wiz was. Oh, okay.
So him and History knew each other from college, so they was on there.
So they knew each other. All right.
And then Rad and exactly. So but they never they weren't like, yo, this is B. He's gonna start managing me. He went to. It was just like I dapped them up, and B was standing there too, and I'm like, okay, I guess I know him too. It was mad awkward for like mad hours, and not like we was chilling, drinking. He's like having conversations with me, and I'm like, why is he talking to me, bro? I don't know him. Like for real, but like now me and B is mad close. Like
that's funny. That's funny too, because I mean it was still a new thing. So it's probably a situation where like Radam is not sure, like introduction style, like you just kind of like just playing shit out and seeing what happens. But it's funny that you brought up your skill set and like how oriented you are with details and things. That's like something I spoke to Radam before you came on here. You know what I mean? And he wanted me to really to highlight like how detail oriented you are, you know what I mean, and like what and to give you your props for that, you know what I mean, and I want to pick your brain like how because there's a lot of times like people do things like for instance like with this podcast, like I wasn't gonna do this podcast unless it was done right, you know what I mean, like exactly all the logistics are done right, you know what I mean, like so talk to me a little bit about that because not a lot of people really care to put the time and the effort into things, you know what I mean, or develop that skill to be able to pay attention to like the most minute little thing, you know what I mean? Yeah. So tell me a little bit about that like development skill, like how you got that or how long you've been kind of focused on that.
Shit, I think it just like comes from my upbringing with like reading credits and like like Dart Parker, like shout out to him because he like the one who picked me out to be like the Shady like intern and all that.
Who's Dart Parker? Who's that?
He's an A&R over at Shady.
Okay.
Yeah, like manages Danny Brown and shit.
Okay.
But yeah, like I remember reading his name in Eminem credits and, you know, obviously Paul Rosenberg, of course, but then like all these people like I now work with and know at Def Jam and like all these people's like, yo, what the fuck? So it's just like reading these details about like the producer, where they recorded and like the Music Palace. Oh shit, West Hempstead, like I'm from there. Like that's down the block. Nas was recording there. Like what the fuck?
Yeah,
like,
yeah
it's just like shit like that. So like how I implement it into like work is just like anytime I'm in a session with like Rad, Vince Ash, you know, anything like that, I'm just like writing down like, okay, who's an engineer? All right, where are we at? Town, the whole nine, because like all that credit is essential to making sure everybody's properly credited and getting their props.
Yeah, that's true. And it's good to be like that too, because like I said, not a lot of people really pay attention to that and
publishing info, you know.
Yeah, and people don't realize how important those things can be. You know what I mean? Because like you're giving a lot of information to the viewer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you don't, and like you said you were like, oh, now it's recorded at the studio. Like somebody's doing that to your shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so it's cool to see that, you know? And, you know, I just wanted to talk to you. I mean, he wanted me to give you props. I mean, I'm sure he's spoken to you about that, you know, before, you know what I mean? But like, it was just something that, I just wanted to bring up because that type of shit is like super important to me too. You know
first
what I mean?
time Brad sends me a song, I'm like, oh, this is fire. All right, who made the beat? And if I'm not hip or I didn't like A&R in some way, and then it's just like, all right, well, who recorded you? All right, where were you at? Like, I'm getting all these details. Like, okay, bet. And I'm just like writing people's like writers credits. Like iTunes is another essential part too, because I'm still very active on that. Where it's just, like, my iTunes is just ridiculous, and like I have everybody's writer's info, credit, producer, label, year, the whole nine. Like I'm about to start doing BPMs. Like shit's crazy, bro.
Word.
Like, but like that's what keeps me detail oriented. So.
Yeah, I mean, like, and again, that's like the way to be. So and it brings me more to like, you know, the like the administration side of things. Yeah, you know what I mean, like.
Well, I learned that for sure with Nothing Changes, because like that was the first time I A&R'd a project, but then like, you know, because it's one thing from A&R and like on the music side, like I made this, you know, I put this play together, I connected with this producer, whatever. But it's another thing to like make sure people are properly credited, but then also like handling the business, the splits, the publishing, the IPIs, like.
See, these are, I mean, I know like, you know, these things are like, I understand the ideas of these things, you know what I mean? But I've never necessarily been in the position to kind of like focus on that exactly or like learn it. I mean, I can learn it on my own, but you know what I mean? Like, you know.
Just holler at me.
Yeah, I mean, because it's crazy because like, I mean, I've signed an artist, but you know what I mean? I literally just signed an artist and was like, yo, that's you. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. That's you, bro. Like, I put you in the position. That's all I really care about. You know what I mean? I've never been in the actual position of A&Ring a whole project, you know? So run me through the process of that and like, you know, like some of the things that you learned in the Nothing Changes If Nothing Changes project, like, you know, as far as the A&Ring, you know?
Damn, I would say like communication, for sure with everybody involved, you know, because you're not talking to this manager or that person, they want more bread. If you find out this person gets more bread than this person on the song that they did together, and like, you know, it's just like a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a psychological thing too. You know, when you want to manage people's expectations in a proper way. Yeah. And meeting from like, not saying Rad's that at all, you know, just any artist from Fantasyland to reality of like how to take care of shit. Yeah. You know, but yeah, man, I'm just blessed to be working with Rad, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like we just click naturally and I don't have to like, you know, deal with the rapper bullshit.
Yeah, I feel like that's like a good thing about Rad. I mean, you know him too, you know him as well as too, but like
I deal with Rad's bullshit.
Yeah, but you know him like on like a real close level, you know, like a personal level, you know. Yeah. But I can see Rad being like a very good artist to work for or work with. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I can see him because he's kind of like, you know, on like this. I mean, from my perspective, he's kind of like on the same page as you, like being very detail oriented, making sure things run the way that they're supposed to be run, and you know, making sure things go smooth. You know, as smooth as they can go.
I think because obviously I didn't know him prior to me meeting him, but I think it also probably plays into a factor that he was self-managing himself the whole nine, and he was already professional then too. So when like we both meet up and we both handle our expertise together. And, Rad climbs, as we get farther in this journey as an artist, and then I get farther in my career, your relationships start to mirror one another and match.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, I know somebody that this Reebok person that I'm cool with, like, oh, he says he knows you because, like, it just parallels together, and then, like, we able to take over the world together.
And you start to realize how small the world is too, like how many people are connected to people. You know what I mean?
It's like shit all the time, bro.
It's crazy.
All the time.
Yeah.
Like you say some fuck shit or you say some shit that's cat, bro. Like it's one call away. I can figure this shit out. But
yeah. Talk to me about like your idea, like before you actually started A&Ring. I mean, I know you had an idea of what the job kind of was.
Yeah.
But talk to me about like the shit that you thought it was. You know what I mean? And then we'll eventually go to like the reality of A&R. You know what I mean? Talk to me like what your initial thought of A&Ring was before you actually got into the process.
I didn't think this like when I started working with rap, but definitely like a year or two prior, it's like connecting them with beats and
like on the most basic level, right?
Basic shit that people like want to get props for. It's like that's the bare minimum of the job description.
Yeah,
but nothing changes woke me the fuck up. But not like all at once, but just naturally, just things that need to be. Damn, you need video participant paperwork and like administrative shit. Like damn, like. You gotta find videographers and you gotta pay them these rates, just all around.
And working in budgets and putting budgets together.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the budgets allocated towards different things for sure. And
what are some of the hardest things that you feel are that come your way is for somebody that's out listening, trying to be an A&R, like some things that you ran into besides some of the things you just mentioned, but like. Things to keep in mind when somebody does get in that position, you know what I mean? Like, because like you said, on the most basic level, you want to think it's just it's artist development. So it's like, I'm gonna give you beats, or I'm gonna put you with the right producers. I'm gonna put you in the right studio because this engineer is good. You know what I mean? And you should work with this artist because y'all kind of like the same vibe. You know what I mean? Like,
it's a team effort.
Yeah, exactly. Talk to me a little bit about that and like how it is to as an A&R work with an artist and. I've done some like fair share of like not A&Ring but managing, and I definitely have come into issues with artists because it's just a personality. It's a personality difference.
Clash.
Clash of conflict, or the artist and the manager. You know what I mean? It's you run into those things. So I mean, I know you've really only been working with Radimus, but
now Vince. And
we're gonna definitely talk about Vince for sure. But. I'm sure you hear stories from other A&Rs about like horror stories about artists.
What's crazy? I hear more so horror stories from managers, and me and Rad talk about that a lot because I'm just like, damn, like everybody's first artist out here is like their worst experience ever, or like so scared that like so scarred from them that like they don't want to get into management anymore. Like, damn, this person was on drugs and all this other shit.
Yeah, because managing you're managing somebody's personality. Like you really
this is somebody's life.
Exactly. Like you're dealing with their life. You're not really necessarily dealing with them creatively. You're dealing with them
not all the time.
Not all the time. Yeah. But you're like dealing with them more on like on a personal level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it can be rough.
Yeah. Well, the advice I'll say to A&Rs or future A&Rs is that like definitely listen to your gut, because like. Damn, I thought I sounded crazy. Not sounded crazy because I knew what I liked, but, your taste is your taste, and go hard for the people that, like, you fully believe in your heart that you feel will succeed.
Yeah.
So it's like Vince was one of those guys I found in 2018, with Do or Die. That was this project that he came out with. And I'm like, this shit is incredible. And everybody's just like, it's cool. So whatever. Like, I'm pitching it to other labels and, like, nobody's buying. I'm like, damn, like, this nigga's hard, bro. I don't give a fuck when
Isn't that the worst? That's just the worst, bro. Even on like a regular level, like showing your friends or some shit, you're like, yo, this dude is fire, and everybody's like,
like all my homies are, but the label like, no, like I don't get it. They're saying for this reason. I'm like, fuck that, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's always somebody at the label that you're like, man, you just don't get the shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro. Like you don't understand this shit.
I mean, like who at the label really does get it? Even the people that
it's very rare. It's very rare. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm speaking from very minimal experience. You know what I mean? But like, I've been in situations at a label where I've showed, I used to show. I mean, I'm gonna say this on camera too. Fuck it. Because when I was at Mass Appeal, I used to show them Radimus' shit all the time. I used to show Will, bro. I used to sit right next to Will, bro, at the desk.
Shout out to
Will. I used to show him Radimus' stuff. I used to show him Madwiz stuff. I used to show him all that stuff. You know what I mean? And it was just like, he's super dope, but like, we don't know if, we don't see it yet, and like blah, 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 blah. And then fast forward years later, like, I leave Mass Appeal, I go to Florida. Will calls me and is like, yo, like, you know anybody that can like help us like do some packaging, like shipping out product and shit? And I was just like, I was in the movie theater with my mom watching The Revenant, so I was like, yo, I was like, I'm gonna text you back. It was Mother's Day. I was like, I'm gonna text you back when I get out of here. I'll hook you up with somebody or whatever. And the first person, I had a couple people, but then I was like, who the hell can be who can I like trust him to be reliable?
Can we say the name at the same time?
Yeah. What do you want to say on 3?
One, two, three.
History. Yeah. Immediately thought of History. I thought of Rad too. I think I reached out to both of them, but I think Radmus just couldn't do it, and History ended up like doing it. You know what I mean? And then 2 years later, Will signed Radimus with Payday. I'm like, bro, this is
funny
crazy.
Story is that when that was going on, History hit me too. He's like, yo, Mass Appeal got this opportunity. It's something light, just packaging shit, but you never know who you're gonna meet there. So and I ended up emailing Will, and Will was like, oh, it's cool, we got somebody to handle it. I didn't even know I was speaking to Will at the time because I didn't know Will yet. And then fast forward like a couple years later, I meet him and I'm like, oh, you the guy I emailed that.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah,
it's crazy. Shout out Will. Yeah, we did. I packed a shit, bro. Oh my god. We did the what's that shit called? The Run the Jewels album. We did Run the Jewels 1 and 2 when I was there. But I was there for Meow the Jewels when fans like when fans like and shit? When fans raised all that money or whatever to recreate the album with cat sounds, like cat samples and shit. Yeah. So we had like crazy products like for you could pay this certain amount of money and you get like the vinyl and you get like I was shipping
like the Kickstarter shit, right?
Yeah. I was shipping out like catnip, kitty litter scoopers, you know what I mean? Like all types of wild shit. Like packaging catnip like it was weed, bro. Like you know what I mean? Like
I was moving weight,
stamping shit. You know what I mean? Like stamping shit, shipping it out, like going to the post office with like a big ass black trash bag like over my shoulder full of envelopes. You know what I mean? Like sending all this shit out. And I forgot the project that History helped out with. I don't know what it was for. I don't think he even really told me. I think he just was like, yo, we just need help packaging some shit. And it was crazy. I just like immediately thought of Mogul Club guys, you know what I mean? I didn't know you back then.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, it was crazy. It's crazy how small the world is, man. Like, but back to like Radimus signing.
I run into people from like New York and LA. It's be the most bugged out shit ever.
Right?
Yeah.
Yo, it's crazy. I mean, I haven't spent too much time in LA, but like just even in New York, like when you go out, like before pre-pandemic, when everybody was when there were shows like every week and shit, you know what I mean? Like where I would just pop up, you start talking to somebody, they're like, oh, I know this person. Oh, you know that person. Oh, still to this day with like random people, you know what I mean? Like just friends. You know, it's just like, oh yeah, I know this dude. Like it's crazy shit. Talk to me about what it was like working with Radimus via Payday and like what it was like, because I assume that was your first like major label kind of situation where you were kind of affiliated with somebody like on the not the intern side. You know what I'm saying? Like real shit.
That's
like
when
real
I
business.
was like, that was a turning point in my career because like that's when I was like, I'm grown up now though. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I feel like
let me know if you want any more, man.
For sure. I feel like naturally, at first it was like a disconnect with like. People still view me as like, yo, like the phone screener and intern and all that shit. But it's just like, now I work at Def Jam now and I manage Radimus. Like, can't tell me shit. Like, but, as I just figured out that shit changes. Yeah. And I just let the Nothing Changes project speak for itself. Yeah. And then like Synonyms of Strength comes out and, I know we kind of fast forwarding here, but like, yeah. But, I think those were great times for me, and I think that Then Nothing Changes album release was fucking incredible.
Yo, that was a fun night.
That
man.
was like
that was a real fun night.
That was
I had a whole bottle of champagne. I think a lot of people had their own bottle of champagne.
Shout out to Bel Air.
Yep.
Shout out to Bel Air.
Bro,
shout out to Brianna because she hooked us up with the bottles, and shout out to Bedlam too.
Yeah.
But that was a crazy night because they hooked us up with the rum, with the Bel Air, and
And we took some amazing photos that night. Like
incredible.
Lifelong memory.
Where was that? Photos. That studio was in Chelsea somewhere. It wasn't even a studio. It was like, what was it?
Some random shit.
It was mad random.
In like
mid
city.
The elevator up and then had screens and shit in there. That shit was popping.
Yeah, that shit was fire.
And we was complaining at first. It was like, there was another spot that we was trying to get that was insane. Like, way iller. You know what I'm saying? But it was just like, damn, we can't get it for this night. And we had to limit the amount of people, like, because it was like such a private spot. I'll tell you about it off air, but like, this shit was crazy. And then it's like, you know what? Let's just go with what Will's doing. I think Will found the spot. Yeah. And then like,
I mean, it was
a crazy spot.
It was like perfect. You know what I mean? Like you had the setup in the corner for the merch and everything. You had the stage right there, and it was like big enough to like. Shit. Yeah, exactly. It was
nobody ever like been there.
Yeah.
Sam had his area where his art was hanging out.
Yeah. He had like all the album art up too, right?
Yeah.
That's where it was, right?
Yeah, each one.
Yep. Yeah. That's crazy. How was it? I always hear this shit too because I'm like,
the sun is down now, so I could drink.
Pour up, man.
Drink with my guys.
It's here. Matter of fact, we'll cheers before we get to the next thing. All right, cheers to the next thing. Cheers, man. Cheers, brothers. Whenever I hear like of people that because I don't know, like my ADD kicks into shit when I start thinking of like doing, not so much now, but like when I was younger, like still trying to figure shit out or whatever, like. The idea of like kind of managing two different things at once, like you were at Def Jam, but you're also managing artists that's with Payday. So like, how does that work? Like when you're in the office, like are people kind of like trying to like get you to pick sides or like, yo, like you got to focus kind of more here on this. You're focusing more on this Payday shit. You know what I mean? Like
they let me rock. I think. I mean, I ain't gonna say it, but like I think with the people that I was attached to, couldn't really tell me shit. Yeah, you know. But my supervisor knew that like I already came in, I was managing, and VIM video was already dropping. Yeah, I was, like all that shit. So, they just kind of recognized the game and that it was like a real thing. And I've come to realize that even with the label people, I feel like there's like two sides of the label people. There's like people like. Very hush hush, like I do this on the side, but like I don't promote this when I'm at work. But I'm just like, man, fuck it,
rad that shit. Like, this is what I do. That's what I'm saying. Like if I'm getting my shit done for you, you know what I mean, and I'm still able to do this, and like I'm gonna tell you what I'm doing.
I'm providing unsigned artists to y'all, and I was doing A&R research for them at the time. So like,
what's that kind of consist of? You just kind of just researching artists and putting lists together and sending them to the main guy and being like, yo, check, or main girl, and being like, yo, check out these lists of people I found. You know what I mean? Like,
basically, they fucked with me for my ear. And they were like, and you're the young person. And they were like, yo, you're going to teach you all these, like, A&R programs. And but we just need you to find artists, for us early. Yeah. So that's what I was doing.
Now, were they, like... Because I know a lot of times at labels, like, especially nowadays, they're always looking for numbers. My thing has never really been numbers.
It got to that point.
Where it was like,
that's when I bet, right? Yeah.
That's exactly. Okay, so boom, I knew we were gonna go over here. I was
especially a label like that. I'm not gonna say.
No, I mean it's just it's just a well-known thing for
It happens with all labels.
These major labels. I mean, because at the end of the day, it's a business. Like they want to be able to immediately see a comeback. See a return on their investment. You know what I'm saying? So it's understandable. But
it's weird though because isn't there still a return on investment on just good music? Like I know they see that.
It is, but I just don't think it's as quick as they want it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
they just like, yo, we losing money. Like we need to just like figure this shit out now.
It's more like the short game than the long game. It's like what can we get out of this right now in a year or two?
The artist perspective, like I get what y'all saying, but like to me that it just still don't really make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
But like I could see it from a business standpoint, but as an artist, you just like, damn, like my favorite artist might not sell millions and millions. Let's say Gibbs, for example.
Yeah.
Gibbs ain't going 100 times platinum and shit like that, but like people still care about it. There's still relevant. Yeah, there's still some relevance for just good music.
But he's been in the game for so long, and I feel like he's just now getting getting his
that's
like
true too.
As far as like major label like recognition. You know what I mean? Like getting nominated for a Grammy. Like he should have. Like the Z, I mean, what the fucking project with the first project with Madlib should have been.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Should have been something. Yeah, the Pinata album should have been considered for something. You know what I mean? Like, but you get to the point where it's just like you gotta build your way up. And some artists, I mean, I can't speak for him, but like some artists are just cool with doing it the way that they were doing it. You know what I mean?
Like, I've heard A&Rs tell me like verbatim that they would rather overpay for an artist than underpay.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, maybe I'm not hip yet.
Yeah.
I'm not that wise in the game, but I disagree.
Yeah.
Now, but
why so?
Because I would rather find the shit early. Like, if not saying like early where like the artists themselves don't know what the fuck they're doing. Obviously, there's a common medium. Like, okay, he's figuring out his stride now. And like, now we at odds, and not odds. We're at a even level
where you can kind of like where the label can kind of come in and be like
guide them and dictate them to that next level. But like, you know, I'm not gonna sign somebody off of one song and be like, "Yo, that's it." You know, like,
But that's the crazy thing too. Is
if they got
so many people that are
projects,
getting it. You know what I mean?
But those same A&Rs and people will do just that they told you to do. Like, oh, I'd rather overpay than underpay. But he only has one song.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna overpay.
Going up on TikTok.
I'm gonna overpay and take the huge risk. Just because.
And it don't work.
Yeah. And we've seen that plenty of times. We've seen that more times than we've seen an actual artist with good music.
My thing is like
fall flat.
When I sign artists, or that's my main initiative. Is this like, are they gonna be here in the next 5 to 10 years? Are they the next legacy artist? You know, like I just need, if they're out here for 5 years, it's like, all right, that's the goal. Yeah. But like at least minimum. But I'm not gonna be like, I'm gonna sign this one guy and like he got this one song and it's gonna go crazy for 2 years and it's gonna be a fad and that's it. I mean, maybe you can't really dictate what shit is going to be a fad and whatnot, but at least what I'm aiming for is a short legacy artist, like Hall of Fame, like critically acclaimed artist is what I'm going for.
Yeah, it's crazy because that kind of happened to me. I mean, I was there for a short time because of this situation, but like when I left Mass Appeal, I left New York in general. I went back to Florida. I lived in Miami.
I remember,
I went lived on South Beach, and before I even moved, I like hit up I hit up Slip and Slide Records, which is like a huge South Florida famous label, bro. Like just a cultural icon and just hip hop in general.
They got random artists that are like still buzzing in there, like Episode De Niro and like random people. I'll be like, damn, like they get numbers and they signed to Slip and Slide.
Bro, I don't even know anymore who. Like I haven't paid attention in so long, but like when I was there. There was like a time in the studio where I was with another intern or whatever he was. I don't know if he was like for working for them or not or whatever. I don't know. Like I don't know what he was there. Yeah. But we be in the studio and like they had that dude Silencio and shit, and I'm like, this is Slip and Slide, bro. Like this is Slip and Slide. You know what I mean? And the only artist that they had that I felt was like. And he was just kind of making his way back was Plies. Like, Plies was the only dude. But they had this dude, Sebastian McHale, bro.
Yeah. He signed to Atlantic, right? Yeah.
They should have never let him go, bro. I was like, yo, this dude is fire. But they didn't want to fuck with him. And then, like, there was, like, a time where I was, like, in the studio. And, you know, there were so many, like, South Florida artists, like, popping off around that time. Like, Denzel, Puya, like, all these dudes. And I was like, bro, this is what Slip and Slide should be, bro. It should be because it was... all Florida people. It was, you know.
His last name is Lucas, right? I forgot.
Ted Lucas. He's cool as hell. I liked him a lot. You know what I mean? But I just was like,
you had to meet him, but I heard great things.
He's a street legend, bro. Out in Miami, I heard. But he's like super dope. And you know, we were in the studio one time, and I was just like arguing. Like I was legit arguing with one of the A&Rs there. I was just like, bro, this is not Slip. You know what I mean? Like you need to be doing this. And during the time, there was that whole like Raider Clan ASAP beef and shit. You know what I mean? And that was like
great times in music.
That was like playing a part in like who we would sign and who we didn't want to sign. And I'm like, really? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is really what's going on. Like, bro, these people, like, you better jump on these artists like right now, bro. Like, who else? I pitched what's his name? Wi-Fi's funeral.
Wow, yeah.
When he was like first popping, I was like, bro, this is the dude that you need to like hop on. You know what I mean?
What's your thoughts on like the South Florida scene right now?
It's popping.
Yeah. Nardo Wick.
I know Nardo Wick. There's another dude out of my area where I went to high school named Trapland Pat. I don't know if you know him.
Nah, I'm not.
He signed to Fredo Bangs.
Oh, okay, yeah. My boy Halim signed him. Fredo Bang. Yeah.
I forgot the name of his label. It's like the gorilla. The logo is like the gorilla.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, this dude Trapland Pat, he's from Sealand, which is like where my high school was in Deerfield Beach. He's super popping. I think he's got potential. I've sent you a bunch from my boy PC Tweezy, bro. Yeah. Like, I think he's the fucking truth, bro. Like, he's just like too real for the industry type shit. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't fucking, you know what I mean? He just doesn't care.
Most Florida artists are.
You don't, bro, he's so good, bro. Like he reminds me of like a Soulja Slim type artist.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like straight up on that like Soulja Life militant fucking camo pants, Reeboks. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the epitome of like a South Florida or like Southern artist in general. You know what I mean? Like, but I think he's the truth. Who's another? I mean, you got Rod Wave, of course. Yeah. But even like there's
Jack Boy from there too.
Jack Boy, yeah, he's same area as Kodak. Yeah. They're all from the same area.
Even Spot 'em Got 'em.
Spot 'em Got 'em. He's a Miami dude. He's from Miami. Yeah. But Spot 'em Got 'em's dope. But there's another dude named Ricker Red who I probably had sent you his stuff before.
Not familiar.
But he's like, how do I say this? He's like the better version of Spot 'em Got 'em. But Spot 'em Got 'em, he went to jail and like Spot 'em Got 'em caught that track.
Yeah, he got the track.
Spot 'em Got 'em yet. I don't
you
know.
what?
I'm not really too sold on him yet.
Not me neither. Like he's got that one song and then he's got like
it's just one song right now.
But this dude Ricker Red is like, they used to be cool or whatever. They did songs together, but I think he is like one of the next, you know, if given the right opportunity and like plays the game right, you know what I mean? Doesn't a lot of people, and I feel like it's crazy too because a lot of these artists like fuck up, bro. They like go to jail and shit and they fuck themselves over, you know what I mean? And it's just like, bro, you know. But there's a lot of the South Florida music scene right now is like super popular, you know. Yeah, I have this argument with my homies like all the time about like how they always give me shit because I'm back from Florida and they're like, yeah.
I be beginning you be Florida nigga for real. Like
you from Florida?
Yeah. I'm from Fort Lauderdale area, Deerfield Beach, but
I spent time in Florida. I used to visit Florida. I used to visit Miami like every summer.
Word.
With my grandparents, and then I moved to only you would probably know this because you're from Florida, but I lived in Melbourne.
Oh yeah.
I lived in Satellite Beach for like
Satellite Beach. Damn. Okay, yeah. So it's crazy out there. Once you go north of West Palm Beach, Florida becomes like a whole different place. You know what I'm saying?
For real, like,
it's weird. Bro.
I went to middle school in Satellite Beach. Like that was like a cultural shock for me. That shit was crazy.
I got family like Lake Worth and shit.
Yeah. Lake Worth a little bit more like on the west side and shit, or not really. It's like a little bit in the middle. But yeah, the South Florida music scene is definitely interesting. But me and my homies get into arguments all the time. I'm like, there's no good New York artists, bro. I'm like, bro, you're bugging. I send the Radimans and shit all the time. But a couple of my homies like really fuck with Radimans because I got like 3 like in my homies in my group chat I used to play baseball with. They're all Dominican, so they're like, I fuck with him. You know what I mean? But like, there's so many artists, bro, from New York that like, you know what I mean? I mean. It's crazy. Given that like Benny and them, Griselda and them are from Buffalo and shit, but still they're fucking New York artists, bro. Like you know what I mean? Like
even the ones that you don't want to like, you kind of got to give it to. Like
I like Flip De Niro.
Yeah, exactly.
I fuck with Flip.
Even on
a lot of incredible people from New York.
A more mainstream level, like a Cardi B, like love it or hate it, like she's holding it down for this city. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I even fuck with the shit that Young M.A.'s been dropping.
Young M.A.
Like there's just so many different pockets of like New York rap right now. Like Code of the Friend, Marlon Craft, you know, Rad.
Code of the Friend. I remember all them boys like when they were Flight Boys. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
That was like when we were all doing shows together. Like me, Radimans, IOD, Mad Wiz.
Yep.
So Coda was the second person I brought up after Rad.
Word. Yeah. Okay.
Because that
I've been seeing them all over, like on a shit ton of placements. You know what I mean?
So like 2016, 2017. But like from that, once I started bringing up Rad, I'm like the light bulb was like, oh shit, I'm the youngest person in the room. Like I could start bringing people up and like people value my taste. Like okay, I'm gonna bring Coda up and bring like Marlon up. And
that's a cool vibe, right?
That's when facts, and that's when like labels started reaching out like, oh, like you're the plug for like getting us on Statik, or because they would just hit up the program director, you know, or if they didn't have a direct line to Statik, they would like everybody's just like, yo, Brandon, you know. So I started bringing people up from that point, and then like once I started being at Def Jam, same time managing Rad, that's when I took a step back and just focus on Def Jam and Rad and working on any other artists I was working with at the time. Yeah.
Well, let's talk. While we're on the topic of artists and shit, let's talk about Vince. Vince Ash, who
shout out Vince.
It's your first official signed artist, right?
Yeah, to a major. Yeah.
And I want to say
Goliath Records
on that, bro. Yeah, congrats on that as well. Yeah.
Tell you that in person.
Because I listened to the project and that shit is kind of fire. You know what I mean? Like,
thank you.
I listened to a couple of songs. I didn't listen to it all the way through, but I sent you the video of the one song I really fucked with, and then I listened to I watched the new On and On video today. Yeah. That shit just dropped today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yesterday.
Yeah. I'm gonna play it too because I'm gonna put it on the screen when we get to it after we start talking about him a little bit. But
for sure.
Talk to me a little bit about what it was like signing your first artist. And Vince Ash is from Indiana, right?
Yeah, him in Indiana. Yeah. Man, I came across him on Elevator, just doing some real
Elevator shit, damn.
Digging 2018 shit at Def Jam.
Elevator's a Miami or a Florida company.
That makes
I'm pretty
sense.
sure.
That makes sense.
Because they used to do they used to cover a lot of Florida artists.
Yeah. So I came across like I-80. That's the name of the one of the videos I came across, and then like Text Free, and both of those I'm just like, damn, this shit's really like hitting, and it just kept having replay value for me. And it's just something different I haven't seen before in any artist, and honestly since I've discovered him, and I just like tapped in with him immediately. I forgot what our initial conversations was, but we for sure tapped in.
How'd you reach out to him? Instagram
or like. Yeah, that for sure. Instagram wasn't like no email or nothing, but we just tapped in and just stayed in touch, and I was just always fucking with him, and I knew he was in a deal with Jeff Wise, Passion Wise. Most people may know, like on Instagram and Twitter. Really amazing writer, and he had like a label called POW. He still does, and he signed him for like a 2-project deal or whatever. And then we just stayed tapped in. We met up at South by.
Damn, South by. I never made it out of South by.
Yeah, that was the one
South
time.
by.
Yeah. I never made it out. I remember seeing Mogul Club take that. You guys
rode
a van out there, right, or some shit.
That was yo, bro.
We flew out. Yeah.
No, he talking about the time when we drove with Cypher League.
Yeah, that's who it was. It was Cypher League.
I hear about these South by stories all the fucking time. I wish I was there.
South by was the fun experience. The drive there. Shout out to Cypher League. Those are all my brothers. Everybody that was on the trip, I fuck with. But
I mean, driving that far with that many people and like,
I can only imagine.
I don't even know how many hours this is from New York to Texas, but like
30.
Yep.
Plus 30 plus.
You guys do it in what? 2 days? A day and a half?
Like 2 days, a day and a half.
Yeah.
And then like the thing was, what made it really fucked up is that the Sprinter was a 15-seater, but there were 16 people and luggage.
So I didn't know that many niggas pulled up.
Yeah,
Jesus.
It was like I made friends on that South by trip. Like people I never knew prior that I'm like still in touch with to this day, that like I'm mad close with, like linked with. So like it was that, but it was just crazy because just the type of person I am.
Yeah.
But once it didn't even get better when we got there, bro. Like I didn't mean to like interrupt y'all story. Nah, bro, because like at the time, like my music career wasn't like shaking as much. So I'm like, I'm going to South by. I'm gonna get this experience. Rad and I'm gonna perform. I'm gonna turn up. I'm gonna network. I'm gonna do all that. So history's just giving me, playing the big cousin role. Like, look, have this much amount of money for the car. Have this for the crib. This, that, and the third. So being that it's through my cousin, who I know is extremely responsible and dependent, as you know too, and as you know. So I'm like, we're gonna be straight. We get the Sprinter. I'm like, all right, this is kind of fucked up, but this is like some rap shit. Like this is gonna be a story.
Rap shit, It's like that early rap shit's about. You know what I mean?
I'm like, I could tell my kids this. I was in the car with this person and this person, and we went to South by, and it was crazy. So then we get to Texas, and like we staying in like some random dude's dorm. Like on the campus of the University of Texas. And like it's a college dorm, bro, with straight dudes that live there, bro. They didn't take out the garbage before we got there. They didn't wash the dishes. They didn't clean up the tub. They didn't vacuum. They didn't clean anything, bro. And I just, because the whole ride, you just like, damn, I can't wait to get back to the crib to just let loose. And I'm just in the crib like, yo, what the fuck is going on in here, bro? Like, it was crazy. I had nowhere to sleep.
Yeah.
I slept on the floor every night. That shit was crazy, bro. That shit was crazy.
I would have hit somebody up and been like, yo, I'll pay you back. Just give me some fucking money. I'm going to get a room, bro. Like,
nah, and it's crazy because I could have did that, but I'm like, I feel like
you got to do it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm leaving the homie stranded.
History
Pops, like, History didn't have to take the bus. Like, his pops would have put him on the plane, but like, that's just how we are. Like, nah, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
But quick, funny story though, but Fifth God actually...
Shout Fifth.
He had the worst time because Fifth don't fuck with a lot of the shit that we fuck with, like Fronto and shit like that. It's like they were smoking cigarettes on the bus and the Sprinter and shit. So like he was praying every day until we left that like things would get better or something would happen for him. Right? Listen, and Fifth that his prayers work. So by like the third day, we was there for a week. Third, fourth day, he get a call from his brother, who's like a film director. And long story short, I guess I could talk about it now, but his brother called him and was like, "Yo, we got to go to New Orleans. We helping Beyonce shoot this Lemonade video, and I need your assistance." And Fifth was just so happy that he did not have to get back in the car to come back home, bro. And I'm just like, damn, this nigga is lucky, bro. Like, I was about to buy a plane ticket for real, bro.
Like, I probably would have done. I would have been like, "Yo, we made it here, bro." Like, but I'm sorry, dude. Like, I'm just because I can assume that I'm probably like the same way as you. I'm like super clean. I need to be like comfortable.
I cried in the shower, bro. I didn't know what to do, bro. I had to cry, bro. Like, I'm not using this soap. And I'm an idiot. Whenever I travel, I've always I'm like.
Yo, I thought Southbound sound like money compared to that one.
Yo, it was, and that's why that was the better time. But I didn't bring like a washcloth, a towel. I'm thinking we staying in the Airbnb or some shit like that. Bro, I just broke down. I'm like, yo, I can't even bathe properly, bro. Like, this is fucked up. But South by Southwest is really fun. It's fun as fuck.
So you met Vince in South, or you linked up with him in South by Southwest.
Yeah, him and all Deuce Mob homies.
Okay, cool. So what was that like? Was he performing out there, or was he just kind of like posted trying to do the artist thing, like link up? And
he did. Don't come to like South by or like LA, like the shit that my boy Rosenberg Vic does. He did it out there in South by, and it was like the PEW stage, with all the artists that were signed there, and. Yeah, they had a really good time. I saw them perform, like, I think, like, Valet and, like, Andrew Barber, a good homie of mine. Like, we just all posted up and watched them perform.
Yeah.
But, I think later that night or the day after, we ended up having a session with Vince, Ash, and Brad. The song that didn't come out, but that History produced, which was crazy. But
my lame ass stayed at the crib.
I forgot about that
shit. Yeah, I stayed at the crib. I didn't even go to the session.
Just needed to chill.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I was like,
nah, it was a great night. Yeah, so that's what happened. We just always stayed in touch, and I just always was like, yo, I'm fucking with this project, like heavy, like do or die. And he dropped, I ended up being over at Goliath like March of last year.
And so Goliath is Shady Records and Def Jam, right?
No. So like I'll break it down. So Goliath, the name comes from like Paul Rosenberg's management company called Goliath Artists. Yeah,
and, I saw. I saw like I wrote down some of the artists that he's like worked with. Like he worked with 3-6 and Blink 182 and shit.
Yeah, I believe like he debunked to me like the 3-6 Mafia shit. I think there was somebody else that had the last name Rosenberg. They just
word.
But he managed Blink 182.
Bro, one of my favorite artists that I saw that nobody really knows about, but you guys might know him. Spark Master Tape.
Yeah.
Bro, I fucking love Spark Master Tape. I've never met anybody that's ever known who he is, like when I've showed him his music, because he doesn't reveal his identity and shit.
His music. I know of him.
Wiz knows him though.
Wiz is his story.
You tap in with Wiz about that. Wiz will tell you more than you know about
Spark Master Tape. You don't even know what he looks like. He's never revealed his identity.
Wiz does.
This is all
probably does. Yeah. Spark Master Tape is super dope, man. He never reveals his identity, and his voice is like chopped up a little bit. It's like chopped and slopped a little bit, but not really though.
That sounds like some shit Paul would be.
But like he reminds me of like of a dude. I forgot the name of his group, like his collective that he's with or whatever. But like he reminds me of a dude that's probably writing for a shit ton of rappers, but like doesn't get the recognition. You know what I mean? And he just raps on the side. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like. Because I don't even know what he would do if he performs. I think he just wears a mask and shit. And like everybody in his videos don't show their face either. You know what I mean?
That's
it's
fire.
Bro, you gotta check his shit out. I'll send you some videos, like some of the fire shit that I know.
Yeah.
But he's dope. So you
Goliath Artists.
Goliath, okay.
Goliath Artists, management firm, Eminem, D12, like Blink 182, that type of shit. And then Paul Rosenberg left Def Jam, and then he started Goliath Records with Interscope.
Okay.
And then so like he brought me in for Goliath and Shady, director of A&R. And then we were just trying to format like the new label, for Goliath. It's a brand new roster so far. Vince is the only artist there
on Goliath.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. More to come for sure.
Yeah.
Shady as well. More.
Are they still in Soho?
Uh-huh.
Is Shady still in Soho?
No. So we packed up the label like leaving Def Jam. No, leaving Def Jam, going into Def Jam.
Okay.
Like now we just like stranded.
Oh, word.
But yeah.
I delivered like Mass Appeal magazines to the the Shady offices like way back in the day.
Have you been to the office itself?
The office. That's what I'm saying. The one that I know about was like right there in Soho.
Yeah,
it's like
crazy.
You don't even
know about it. You know about it.
Yeah, I've been there before. I've been inside before, just briefly. You know what I mean? Like literally, they sent me over with like 10 magazines and were like, "Yo, just drop this shit off,
bro." I kid you not.
Yeah,
like they sent me the address and it's like, yeah, it's on such and such floor. I go and walk into the building. It doesn't even say said floor.
Yeah,
and I'm like, what? Like. Go in the elevator, says said floor.
You just walk out and you're in a fucking, you know what I mean? Like,
and then like I just enter in, and then there's like a whole ass like army type of door, and it's like a peephole, and it's like, yo, what you doing? Yo, who are you?
Yep.
I'm like, yo, like, got a meeting with Paul Rosenberg. It's like, oh, all right.
Unlock all the 15 locks.
Yeah, facts. And then like you just see this like crazy ass office. I'm like, Jesus.
All the plaques everywhere and shit.
Yeah. I'm like, Jesus.
Shit was crazy. It was a vibe. Yeah,
for sure. But that was crazy, and the Shady parties were amazing and all that. But hopefully back to when quarantine dies and all that shit, we could get back to that. But yeah, that was an amazing time. And I was managing. I was interning at Shady, but then also managing. No, I'm managing, but I was A&R for Rad at the time too. Yeah. Just formulating songs and shit and working on the project. Really great time. And I remember just like everybody was over at Def Jam. I ended up helping them pack. And I was like, yo, Dart, like I need to connect you with Rad. We over at Def Jam, and then like I get a call during the meeting and I didn't answer because we were in a meeting and shit. And then like I leave and I return that call. And I take a photo of like I'm at the Def Jam logo, take a photo, all that shit, and then like, I call back, and they're like, yeah, this is such and such, like we're the temp agency, like they just hired you over at Def Jam. I'm like, nigga, I was just up there. Like what are you talking about? Like crazy surreal moment, and then like I just figured it out, and I just like ended up starting like probably like a couple weeks later.
Okay,
A&R research and. Did that from 2018 to early 2020, and then at some point that's when it became like, oh, it's a numbers thing and that type of shit. Yeah. And you gotta play the politics a bit, and
I fucking hate that.
But I think the problem was for me is that I'm such a passionate music guy that when you tell me it's just about numbers, that's when
it pisses me off.
Not like it pisses it did, but like for the most part it's just like my spirit is not attached to the job anymore.
Yeah.
Like now I'm just a robot. I'm like, all right, you want these numbers? Here you go. These are all these fucking artists that are like doing numbers right now.
Yeah.
But are they talented? Are they qualified?
They have longevity and shit.
I don't give a fuck anymore. Yeah. This is what's required of me. And I'm just like trying to figure out my like exit strategy, and then boom, blessing came from the sky, and shout out Paul Rosenberg, and we here signing events, and and I just, again, going back to what I said earlier, is just like I believed in him. And, I was pitching a bunch of artists, but, I'm starting to figure out like my relationship with Paul in terms of like my taste and if he fucks with it. And, we hit it off. And then that's when like Vince Ash comes about and just like, damn, like he fucks with him. Like, oh shit, finally somebody gives a fuck. Like,
it's crazy, right? When you get that first one where everybody's like, oh, this is dope.
It's crazy. Like, yo, let's do this right now. But that was a crazy time. And I happened to be in LA the same time Vince happened to be in LA for the first time. And we connected, and we ended up figuring it out. And that was the first signee over at Goliath, and I think it's been a really great one and flagship artist and first of many.
How's he feeling? I'm sure he's super excited as an artist, where he's like worked to be affiliated with like such an established like management system and label just in general.
So he's just signed to Goliath on the label side, but like my boy Matt manages him, who's doing an incredible job, and we just all collectively are really in tandem with what's going on, and trying to get the best music out properly, and strategize as to what's next, and how to make him a star for real, and the star that he is. It's been a long time in the making, and that's why like I kind of mention it in every like tweet or like Instagram. It's like, yo, like this been in making for like 4 years. Like he was like one of those, like out of all artists, he was the only one that was just like, I want to work with him. That's like, I want to executive produce a project of his or like A&R, and that was been on my goal bucket list for like 3 years straight. And just you write down your goals and
shit. Now they're here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real. And first of many, and now we're about to like really structure this roster crazy, and Vince is gonna go off, and on and on is just like gonna be the starting point of everything.
Yeah, you need if you need PC Tweezy, man, I'll reach out to him, bro.
Yo, for sure, man.
Have you seen the new On and On video?
Vince's video?
Yeah,
I have not.
All right, we're gonna play that shit.
Right Hell yeah!
Because I'm gonna toss it on the screen when we get post edit.
Hell yeah!
But I really fucked with this song a lot.
Thank you.
If he was chilling, man, but we'll make it happen one day.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah, fire. That shit's fire, right?
Yeah, I can always appreciate some fire shit, bro, for real.
Yeah, me too, man.
I think, not for nothing, I think when B introduced me to his music in Cali, like it probably was the space I was in. I wasn't as receptive, and the damn sure wasn't that song, because I know if it was that, then I'd have been like, all right, this is fire.
And it's crazy how too, like the environment that you're in when you listen to something can totally change.
Yeah, it switches everything.
You know what I mean? Like if there was times in the studio, like I don't know, man. Cause shout out to Solomon 5, man. Like when I was working with him, like
Solomon,
he's super dope. I think he can be one of the greatest artists of all time.
Absolutely,
100%. Even though we don't work together anymore, like I still full-heartedly believe
his pen is crazy.
His pen game is crazy, bro. It's insane. You know what I mean? But like I remember being in the studio with him at Dimension Studios in Lower East Side. You guys have been there.
Yeah.
Great studio. And like he one takes everything, right? Like we walked in, he has all his shit ready to go before we get in, bro. Yep. And I just will go back into thinking like, bro, literally the engineer and the engineer's assistant were sitting right next to me. Engineer's in front of me, the engineer's assistant is like sitting right next to me, bro. And they were literally like this. Like, yo, what the fuck? Like, it was like a crazy fucking moment. It was probably one of the more special moments that I've had as being in the studio and working with like an artist and shit. And like, even listen to his shit in a studio and listen to it at home, it still gave me the sound of the same effect. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the power of fucking music, right? It's like, this shit is crazy. Shit is crazy good, man.
Shout out to the engineers, man. Y'all make us look real good.
Yeah, the engineer. I mean, you said the same dude who made the beat engineered it, right? Yeah. So Matt.
Chef
Lonray. Shout out to Chef Lonray. But I want to, before we get out of here, I want to play something for you too. I want to put a video on.
Of mine?
Yeah, man.
Sure, yeah.
You're here. I didn't know you were coming, so when I came here, I saw this one video. It's with another dude. It's like he's got like initials or whatever.
Oh, Avo, Emmy.
Avo.
Oh, that shit's crazy.
Let's play that.
Facts.
Because I'm gonna put that shit up on the screen, and I want people to know where they can find you too. So
appreciate that, brother. Thank you.
Got you, of course. Because before we play this shit, it's probably gonna come. This is gonna come out after, but you know what's happening tonight at 9:00, right?
What?
Big fight.
There's a fight tonight?
Yes.
UFC fight?
No,
a boxing match?
Yes. Jake Paul, Ben Askren.
Oh shit.
Bro, that shit's going down. I got money on Jake Paul beating Ben Askren's ass.
I don't even know who the other dude is, but I probably got my money on Jake Paul.
Ben Askren is a famous UFC fighter, but he's like known. He was an Olympic wrestler.
Okay.
He's got no hands.
Oh Jesus!
And people are like bullshitting because Jake Paul knocked out Nate Robinson and shit.
Yeah.
But like,
but nah, he got hands.
He's got hands,
if you watch,
bro.
He has technique. He has
bro. I was watching an interview with like Mike Tyson and Joe Rogan and all of them, and they were like, "Yo, Jake Paul can really fight."
Yeah, it's not just about like how he was punching Nate. It's the whole stance, everything. All that shit goes into boxing.
So yo, you heard it here first. I called it. Jake Paul's gonna win this shit. But fucking yo. The same fighters that were saying Ben Askren has no hands are the same fighters saying Jake Paul does. You know what I'm saying? So I can only take that as
when's the Aaron Paul like? I'm not Aaron Paul.
Aaron Carter.
Yeah, Aaron Carter. Lamar Odom.
That's just happening soon, bro. I think that shit's. Who do you think's gonna win, bro?
Lamar Odom is 6'10". So I'm.
Did you watch Aaron Carter's No Jumper interview talking about it? Shit.
Every time I see him on No Jumper, I'm like, I should watch.
You got to, bro. It's just so entertaining. I also have way too much time on my hands. Literally, that's all I do.
No Jumper.
Yeah, shout out No Jumpers and shit. No Jumpers. Shout out No Jumper. I watch podcasts and interviews like it's a job. You know what I'm saying? Like I truly like enjoy watching interviews and like really getting to know people and shit.
Yeah,
and eventually with this shit, like this shit's gonna like I try not to make this so much music oriented. I'm eventually want to turn this into more like investigative journalism shit where like I'm going out into like some wild shit. You know what I'm saying? Like and really getting to know like the deep society of like underground society of people and shit. But that type of stuff always amazes me and shit. And you know, like I said, I watch all that stuff, you know. I watched the Aaron Carter interview because I'm like, I gotta see what this guy's talking about.
Yeah.
But he was like, yo, I'm training 10 hours a day. This man's so skinny, bro.
Yeah, no, exactly. He still looked like he living a rock star life.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Facts.
All right, let's play your shit real quick.
Swear.
Avo, you made this.
I'm putting it like where like the camera's gonna get shit, but it's just gonna be on camera.
Ricky, I don't get too S and I'm finny. Blood on my clothes, I'm a butcher like Benny. Big on my shot in the post like I'm
fuck with this song.
Man, turning like I'm Timmy. The way you be acting gon' earn you an Emmy. Splashing that water like stuff with the shimmy. Fully automatic, never the semi.
And you be on your singing shit. I know you be on that with rappers. I know you. I see, bro.
You heard Benzo. They heard Benzo.
I know. They know.
Streets like a sword. I burn this shit down like a flame in the forest. Turn to the max to my name in the Forbes. Killing this shit in the name of the Lord. If it's something that's stuck, always ready for war. Smoke till I'm daddy, my body a court. It's winter in Cali, I'm rocking the short. I shop at the store, everything I afford. I shop when I'm bored, surf on the wave, hop on the board. I got the sauce, she wanna absorb. She used to ignore, she thought I was poor. She wanna explore, but I'm not a whore. Hey, my crib on the shore, she wanna more. Flame on the cord, mention my name. These niggas is doors, this shit is a game, this shit is a sport. Putting in pain. Quarter pound, how did I get it from Mickey? Don't ever compare me, that shit gonna fit me. My baddie and Ricky, I don't get too X and I'm finny. Blood on my clothes, I'm a butcher like Benny. Big on my shot in the post like I'm Timmy. Man, turning like I'm Timmy.
And who's the other dude?
Avo is the producer of the beat, and he records me too. He engineers my music.
All right. Shout out Avo.
Executive producer in my upcoming album and all that. That's my guy. Bitch.
Quarter pound, how did I get it from Mickey? Don't ever compare me, that shit gonna fit me. My baddie and Ricky, I don't get too S and I'm finny. Blood on my clothes, I'm a butcher like
Yeah, I'll make sure you get this
Big on my
clip
shot in
too,
the post
so-
like I'm Timmy.
Appreciate that,
Turning
man.
like I'm Timmy. The way you be acting gon' earn you an Emmy. Splashing that water like stuff with the shimmy.
Nah, y'all went crazy with this one.
This shit is hard. Yo, man, that's like honestly one of the better ways to end this show. Yo, I really appreciate you guys coming on, man. Especially, I'm glad to have you, man. Like it's always, this is my first time having 2 guests on at once, so it's like my first time trying to like fucking, you know, go back and forth. I think we did a great job, man. That shit was dope. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I appreciate you, Brandon. Thank you for coming on, bro.
Appreciate you.
This is coming out next week, Riz.
Thank
this is
you
coming out
for
next
having
week.
us.
Of course, bro. Anytime. Like I told Radimus, I think I told Matt was last episode. I was like, bro, Mogul Club's always fucking welcome here. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, and eventually when shows come back and shit, fuck it, we'll do some shit live. You know what I'm saying? Like at one of y'all shows or whatever, backstage or you know, we'll really like document some shit. You know what I mean?
Nah, for sure, when to come back, for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. But I appreciate you guys coming through. Continue doing what you're doing, man. I'm always watching this shit. I'm always keeping an eye on everything. You know what I mean? So I'm always here. You know.
Likewise. Thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely, bro. Thank you.
Of course, bro. Of course.
Swear.